Hey, good morning, Intermediate Algebra. So today we are simplifying square roots again. This time we're only adding in variables. So you're still going to deal with the numbers the same way you did in the last one, but now we're just adding in variables, which I think you'll find aren't terribly difficult, but it just adds an extra step. So here's how I deal with these. So when I take a look at this first one, the square root of 112, a to the 6, I'm going to break up the 112 and the a to the 6 into two separate groups. So I'm going to first break it into the square root of 112, then into the group of a to the 6. I'm actually going to deal with the variables first because I think they're easier, and I like doing the easiest things first. You might agree that the square root of a to the 6 is the same exact thing as the square root of a times a times a, 6 square roots of a all being right there. I think that should make pretty good sense. Then from there, I think it would make sense that for every time you have two of these together, there's two right there. I'm going to do a different color. There's two right there, and there is two right there. Every time you have two of them, two square roots, that makes a real letter A. So that would be the same as A times A times A. We've got the yellow A, the green A, and the blue A. And A times A times A is just simply A to the third power. So this breaks down into this. Hopefully that makes good sense. Now doing the number, it's a factor tree like we did yesterday. I'm going to do a factor tree. I can't think off the top of my head of what the biggest number would be. I can't do the simplified one on this one. Maybe you're brighter than I am. So I'm going to just break it down into 2 times 56. Because this is an even number, I know that 2 can go into it. So every time I keep seeing this even number here, I'm going to break it into a 2. Another even number, break it into a 2. Another even number, break it into a 2. Oh, and by the time I get done, they're all prime factors. So now I just look at I know that it takes 2 of these to make a real 2, so there's one real 2. It takes 2 more of these to make another real 2. So I have a yellow 2, a green 2. 2 times 2 would be, so basically that, and the only thing that's left over is the square root of 7. So basically I have 2, the yellow 2 times the green 2, and the square root of 7 left over. Now, to combine this little term here and this term up here, here's how we'd write that in there. 2 times 2 is 4. I have the a to the third. Those are the ones on the outside of the square root. And then the only thing left inside the square root is the square root of 7. Hopefully it makes sense. Well, let's do one more just to make sure. Here we've got 30, the square root of 30 b to the 5th power. So again, I'm going to break it down into 30 and b to the 5th power. Again, I think dealing with a variable is actually easier, so I'm going to break this one down into square root of b times itself 5 times. We know that every time we have 2 that line up together, so I've got a real b here. I know that I have a real b here, and then I've got that 1 left over. So this is simply going to break down into b times b, the yellow b, the green b, and then a b left over, which b times b is just b squared. So we have b squared square root of b. So hopefully that makes sense. On this side, 30, which is an even number, I'm going to break down into 2 times 15. 15 is not an even number, but it's not prime either. I know that 3 times 5 is 15. So now I've got 3 prime numbers. You might notice that 2, 3, and 5, none of them match up. So 2 is not identical to either of these, 3 is not identical to either of these, and 5 is not identical. The ones that are not identical, you multiply back together and they go back into your square root. So all of these will actually go back into being square root of 30, just like this one, because there was no prime factorizations that we got out of there. There's no pairs we got out of that one. So how do we write this answer when we combine these 3 here with this one here? We've got the only thing on the outside is this little b squared right here, so that's what goes right here. This all gets multiplied back into being square root of 30 again, and we have a b left over, so it's square root of 30b. That's how it's done. I'm here on Google Hangouts to help you at any point. Thanks, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.